So I'm often asked what managers can do to make sure that employees are focused on how to cross the gap that exists for so many between potential and performance. Well, I have spent the last 3 years of my life researching this question and working with individuals and companies on figuring out what they can do to make sure that people are successfully navigating that gap between potential and results. Well, one of the things I've done is I have asked a lot of really successful people, what do you do? How come you are so much farther ahead than so many other people? And there are a whole bunch of answers. And some of those answers, I've broken them up to modules in the training that I do. And some of them are measurable and some of them are observational. But one of the most consistent ones that come up, and it is measurable, is that in order to go farther across that gap, and let's face it, nobody is ever going to reach all of their potential because potential isn't static. You can't anchor a bridge from one side to the other because as you go through life, you're going to meet new people. You're going to read a book. You're going to listen to a podcast. You're going to go to some training. You're going to learn something new and your potential is going to shift out. So if we built a single bridge and put all your employees on a bus and drove them across, eventually they would fall back into the abyss and be right back where they started. So what I try to teach people is let's have the analogy of instead of building a bridge, let's erect a scaffolding, and everyone on your team can figure out their own level and their own path as they move across that gap. But one of the main consistencies that I am told over and over by really successful people is that none of it happened by accident. In order to be successful, you have to have goals. Now, it doesn't mean that you're focused on a single thing and that's all you chase forever, but you have to have a target. You have to have something that you're working towards. So I work with teams to make sure that amongst these 10 different steps, that the one about knowing what success looks like, having a goal, and then reverse engineering the steps that you can take to get there, that is at the most foundational level. And I'm always shocked when I go into companies and I work with people, or even the whole team, and there's no understanding of a goal. They have systems and everybody shows up and does their cog in the wheel job. But nobody's really thinking, what is the bigger picture? What are we trying to accomplish? And how can we reverse engineer this? And are there things we can do differently today than what we did yesterday that's going to help pull us farther across? So ask yourself, do I have a really clear goal? Do I know what success looks like? Because when you do, it makes it really easy to answer the tough questions that come up for all of us every single day. Because let's face it, we have to make choices all the time. But when you know what you're trying to accomplish, suddenly when you come to that fork in the road, you only have to ask yourself, does this choice, does this decision bring me closer to the goal or lead me farther away from it? That alone is all you have to know if you want to start that journey across the gap.